celebrate, or if you're in this country and celebrate, I should say. So anyway, I hope everyone was safe. I hope everything was good. So, good to be back. But anyway, I feel like it took me, with getting just back into the swing of work and unpacking and cleaning and all that jazz that you have to do when you come home. It took me like all of last week to get myself together, get the house together. We had just like some things to do. We had some plans this past weekend with family, and I got a haircut, like little things, that you just have to do. Duchess, my dog Duchess, had her annual vet appointment and got a ton of vaccines, and it was just one of those weeks where we were catching up, but we were also like getting things done that had been planned, regardless of the vacation. So we're back. And again, I thought I would just kind of tell you about the vacation. Now, it's a Wednesday. It's after 5 p.m. I have a glass of wine unrelated to the vacation, although I did have some wine on the vacation. Okay. It's a very cheap Sauvignon Blanc that is not bad, but I also wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so I had beautiful acrylic pink and white nails for my vacation, but it was time for them to come off, and I'm just giving them a little bit of a break until I do the next thing. So they're just bare. So excuse that, but otherwise all is well. Okay. So my husband and I went to Vermont, and on the way home, kind of, it was sort of out of the way, I guess, but it was still in the direction of home. We went to Mystic, Connecticut. Please tell me. So we stayed in Woodstock, Vermont, and then Mystic, Connecticut. Tell me if you've been to either place. I'm curious. We had so much fun. It was one of those vacations that just hits you right. Like nothing went wrong. I mean, as an adult in my 30s, it's like if nothing goes wrong, it was a good vacation. But it was wonderful. It really was. So, it was great. Anyway, I'm about to get into it. I'll show you some things. I'll talk. This is just kind of a casual one, but hopefully it puts you to sleep. Hopefully my over-explaining, my potentially boring to someone else vacation puts you to sleep and relaxes you on this lovely Wednesday in the middle of July. Okay, so I do have a notebook that I bought in Mystic, and I wrote down some notes about things I did on the vacation in this notebook. Okay, so Mystic had some very cute shops, and it was adorable. So look at this notebook. I love it. It's like this is sort of like a canvas, and then it's almost like a soft cardboard, and then it has the elastic strap that I absolutely dribbled a little bit of my wine on the way down here. Okay, so such a cute little notebook. I actually have earrings from Amazon. I needed to make and order a certain amount of money so that I would get free shipping at one point, and I have earrings, and each earring is a saucer. It's purple, like purple glitter, with like this iridescent cone and then cows in it, or it's one cow. So I actually have this in earring form, which different colors keep, but still, they crack me up. They were cracking my husband up too. Okay, I wore them to work one day. I was like, screw it. Why not? My coworker was like, what is that? I was like, take a look, buddy. All right, so let me get to my actual vacation notes here. So, our trip to Woodstock, Vermont. Okay, so I'm just referencing this so I don't forget anything. Some of these details will be very boring, I'm had to be June 27th, I think, 2025. So we arrived on Friday, midday-ish, and our check-in was 3 p.m. We stayed at a place called the Woodstocker Bed and Breakfast. It was not an Airbnb, it was a B&B. And it was lovely. Oh my goodness, it was so lovely. We looked at it based on reviews, and all of the there were lots of reviews, which is like the key, right? There were a lot of reviews, and it was, let's see, I forget how many, but all of the reviews were like, this is so clean, and the breakfast is great, and it's clean, it's clean, it's clean. And honestly, I don't know about you, I'm not the most perfect housekeeper in the world, but I'm pretty clean, I think. And it bothers me when I stay somewhere, especially, you know, when you've spent the money, right? When you spend the money to stay somewhere and it's not clean, or it just like is, it could be cleaner, like it's noticeably lacking. I hate that. As I'm talking to you, I think I'm seeing a very large insect on the other side of my basement. So clearly I'm not the perfect housekeeper. God, what is that? Okay. Please don't move. You're gonna scare me. Get that after. Okay. Or I'll call my husband to get it after. Whatever it is. Okay, gross. I think it might be one of those like silverfish. It's kind of like on the lower wall. It's grossing me out. Okay. Anyway, 'tis the season. So we stayed at the Woodstocker B&B in Woodstock, Vermont, and it was just absolutely beautiful. It was so clean. We stayed in a, clearly, as I'm talking about it again and again, we stayed in a suite that was just like, it was beautiful. It was like a full living room, a sauna, a bedroom, and then a beautiful bathroom with a handheld shower head. I love it. I love it. Gorgeous tile. There was no like mildew in the shower. Like, it was that kind of place, right? I was like, oh, yes. It was the kind of shower that you feel good, like putting your bare feet in, like you feel okay. I've stayed places where I've worn flip-flops. But it was just gorgeous, and our suite looked, it was almost like a little apartment without a kitchen, and but it did have like a little like kitchen-y table that we put our stuff on. It was just amazing. So we stayed there from Friday to, we left on Monday morning. Excuse me. rest of the suite, okay, I think I'm switching to soft-spoken. I apologize. I am really struggling. Okay, that's what happens when you work all day and you work in a job that makes you talk, which is totally fine. But at the same time, then I come here and I'm like, okay, apologies. All right, so switching to soft-spoken. I do apologize. More whispering coming soon on a day when I'm not totally fried. Okay, the bedroom had an air conditioner like in the wall, and it got ice cold in there, which is great because I am a little bit picky about like, do you hear that wine fridge? Speaking of like air conditioners and their noise, okay, hold please. Okay, I unplugged it. Okay, I have all the wine I need for now, thanks anyway. Okay, my apologies. So, air conditioner in the wall, bedroom got ice cold, and even the bathroom got like a little chilled because you could sort of choose which pocket doors you had open, which was perfect because it let either like the bedroom stay ice cold or the bathroom get a little cool. So when we first got there, I guess it's not a complaint, not even close. My only like concern was that it seemed like maybe there's not central air in the house, which would make sense because it seems very old and large, and so makes sense. It seems like there are wall air conditioners throughout, the rooms, the hallway, whatever, totally fine. But the first day we were there, our suite was big enough. Like, I don't mean it like that, but our suite's like a first world problem to have, right? Our suite was big enough that I noticed it was hot the first day, and I noticed that the living area space, like the living room and the little kitchen-y sort of table and blah, 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 that room was getting a little warm, and I was like, I guess there's no air conditioning out here, only in the bedroom. And I could leave the bedroom door open and see if the whole place will get cool, but I don't think that unit's big enough. So we shut the bedroom doors and we just let it get like icy cold in the bedroom and just dealt with it being a little bit hot in the main area. But then we got really lucky because the next couple days were much cooler, and overnight it was like 48 degrees. So it was perfect. Like, I woke up the next 2 nights in the bedroom and I was like, that air conditioner has to be turned up now. I am like shivering, so no complaints. But I wonder if you're there in like the 90-degree August weather, like, does the rest of the suite get a little warm? I don't know. Or maybe there's a central air conditioning system that gets kicked on in mid-July. Who knows? So that's very possible too. Highly, highly recommend. And again, we stayed in one of the bigger suites. I think it was the biggest suite, and it's off season for them. Summer is off season, I guess, because of skiing. So it was not super expensive. I highly recommend, if you're ever in the area for anything, Woodstock or B&B. Amazing hosts, amazing hospitality, cleanliness, food. The breakfasts were delicious. It was great. Okay, I just had to go on about where we stayed a little bit, but bathroom was beautiful. Just, they thought of everything. There was like all kinds of charging ports, like just the little things that make it like so comfortable. It was great. So we stayed there. We had dinner in the town of Woodstock on Friday at a place called the Vic Tavern. That was delicious. I highly recommend. And then we walked like all the way back through town, back to the B&B, and we really just hung out. We played some cards and went to bed. We were just tired from the drive. The drive was about 6 hours. We listened to an audiobook that was excellent. I can tell you about that later. But it was great. The drive flew by because of the audiobook, so I highly recommend that too. We rented a car just to like get rid of any hassle with our own cars, and we only filled it up once with gas. It got great mileage. Like, we just got lucky. It was good. So Saturday is really the reason that we were there. So Saturday, my best friend from high school got married in Vermont. So she got married like just outside of Woodstock. So that was why we were there, really. And the wedding was absolutely gorgeous. It was at a place called OQ Farm, and the backdrop was like the Green Mountain State, right? The Green Mountains of Vermont. The sun came, it was kind of overcast, but the sun came out like just as they were saying their vows. I was sobbing. It was amazing. It was a beautiful wedding. So that was Saturday evening. Now during the day on Saturday, we started to get ready around like, I don't know, 2, because the wedding was at 5 and we were there a little before that, so we wanted to take our time, and I had to do my hair and my makeup and all that stuff. So we took our time, and we wanted to start getting ready early and just chill. So that morning after breakfast, like at the B&B, I took us, and by that I mean I told my husband where to take us. I chose to go to a place called Sugarbush Farm. So here's the souvenir. There's more upstairs in the fridge. So Sugarbush Farm, Inc., Woodstock, Vermont, 05091. This is one of their cheeses. We brought home quite a few. We brought some for my parents. This one is a smoked cheese. And we did like a little tasting while we were there. We looked at their goats. We looked at where they make like the Vermont maple syrup and the cheese, and it was just up against a backdrop of like gorgeous green mountains. It was just lovely. We bought cheese. I bought some t-shirts. We bought some syrup, and we did the tasting of the cheese and the syrup. And then this was my brilliant idea, and it worked out. We went like to a little market on the way home, and we got some crackers to go with the cheese, and I think we got some pepperoni or salami. I forget what we got, but we made like a little mini charcuterie board in the room to like snack on while we got ready for the wedding. We popped some champagne. It was just like ideal. Getting the crackers from the market may have been my husband's idea, so I don't know if I can take full credit for that, but the charcuterie and the farm visit, that was my idea. It was just lovely. The goats were adorable. It was just amazing. It was beautiful. I had to pee in a porta potty. That was at the farm. That was like the only downside. No, it was just lovely. Okay, so then the wedding. It was gorgeous. And then Sunday. So really what took us there was the wedding. But Sunday we just walked around Woodstock. We went to an amazing cocktail bar. We stopped in all the shops, and the town was like deserted because this is their off season. I'm used to like coastal, like Jersey, Maryland. So now, June, July, August, that's their on season, right? Memorial to Labor Day. So like I was ready for it to be packed and hot and sweaty, and if anything, it was like cool and dead. I was like, okay. So excuse me, my hair is drooping as the day goes by. Speaking of hot. So it was amazing. And then we like drove 15. I was so full just from like snacking all day, drinking cocktails and shopping, which is such a great problem to have. And then we went like 20 minutes away to a little like pub for dinner. I had a delicious like, I think it was a prime rib sandwich. It was amazing. It was just like casual, amazing. We went back to the I almost said resort. It's not a resort. The B&B, and we played more cards and read our books and just like had the TV on. And I went to the library in the B&B and got like some books, like photography books of Vermont, because I had never been. Like I wanted to see, I felt like we had seen quite a bit of scenery, but I wanted to see more. And the photos in the photography books in their little library, like it kind of added up, it matched up with like what I had been seeing. Lots of green mountains, lots of covered bridges, lots of nothing actually, which sort of surprised me. I don't know why I expected Vermont to be a little bit more built up. I don't know why I thought that, but it's not. It is not. It was kind of dead and very rural. I don't know, when people say Vermont, I picture like bougie, like little towns that are like up and coming, but like old money. Woodstock was actually a little bit like that. So, you know, but beautiful old houses and like just gorgeous and cool shops. And like, I think I just described where we were, but like the state doesn't seem like that. I thought the whole state was like that. I don't know, but of course it depends on, I was only in a little bit of it. I drove through a good bit of it, but I mean, other than that, you know, so it was amazing. That second day, let's see, Saturday morning, I can't remember what I had for breakfast. Yes, I can, oatmeal. I had oatmeal. It had, like apples and cinnamon sugar, and I think bananas and walnuts and Vermont maple syrup all over it. It was freaking delicious. I forget what my husband had, some kind of egg dish, I think. And then the second day I had, let's see, Sunday I think I had pancakes with Vermont maple syrup, and they were fantastic. And then I think the last day was like Monday when we left. That was actually like a self-serve breakfast. So it was like pastries and hard-boiled eggs. And it was lovely. It was a lovely place to stay. Highly recommend. The hosts were like, they didn't bug you, but they were like, they would text and say like, can we do anything for you today? Do you need anything? Like, what, you know, let us know. And we were like, oh my God, that's wonderful. So I have stayed in an Airbnb, I've stayed in hotels, but I gotta tell you, like a highly rated true old-fashioned bed and breakfast is like, it's great. And usually very quiet, really anywhere. So it was just amazing. We left on Monday. Yeah, the Sunday was just like a little shopping day. Now, I got the cheese Saturday, like I said, but Sunday, the only real thing that I think I bought are these like little cute, my husband found these, they're so cool. They're like such a little New England-y bouquet of flowers, and they were just, we have a little, you know, we have a bar cart upstairs, and he was like, these are kind of cool. And I was like, you're right, they are. So little like summery bouquet of flower cocktail napkins, just something to remember that little trip by. So yeah, and we have like all kinds of bar stuff down here, so I'll add them to our little collection, and it was just lovely. Highly recommend. It's funny, we kind of said to each other, like, we're not sure we would ever go back because there was just, unless we skied or something, which we don't. So I don't know that we'd go back, but we're so glad we went. And obviously, again, we were there for the wedding, and that was just like, it was such a beautiful wedding. It was such a fun time. It was a small wedding, so I actually got to like spend time with my friend, the bride. Like, it was amazing. There were like 60 people there. It was amazing. So, and you know, some of them I knew from high school, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you'd be here. How are you? Like, it was just surreal. It was wonderful. So yeah, it was a magical first half of the trip, and then I'll try to make the second half a little shorter because I'm already 25 minutes in. But the second half was Mystic, Connecticut. So we, now I will say, overall, although the wedding was sentimental, like Woodstock was almost kind of like a sentimental trip, sort of. Very quiet, very like reflective, and you know, we got like ice cream and looked up and down the street and we were like, nobody's here. It was like that kind of a trip, but it was lovely. But like Connecticut was more my speed in the sense that it was like, it was poppin'. Not that I love busy areas. I live in one, but it was like coastal and warm weather and just like everything, like it was just in season. So it was kind of nice to have like one and then the other, if that makes sense. So we went to Connecticut, and we stayed at a place called the Steamboat Inn. It is not a steamboat. It is just a little inn like right on the Mystic River. So our windows from our room, like all you could see was just water. It was beautiful. I shouldn't say all you could see because the stretch of river that we were on was right near the drawbridge. So the stretch of river is not like you can see right across it. Like you can walk across it, you know. I mean, on the bridge. you can't walk across the water, but I mean, maybe some of you can. But so it was, you know, you could see like just water right outside the window. We were on the second floor, so it really just looked like the glistening, beautiful water, especially at night. And then right across, you could see like a little ice cream shop. Like I was just kind of sitting in bed, like looking at the water and the little shops. Like it was so freaking cute. Highly recommend. I forget which suite we stayed in, but it was, or room, it wasn't really a suite, it was really just a room with like a little kind of a seating area and a fireplace. Not that, I mean, it was July by this point, so we didn't need the fire. I don't even think we would have been allowed to burn it. I think that's only a winter thing for them. But yeah, that was beautiful. And then the bed and TV, and then the bathroom, which was much smaller than what we had in Vermont. Much smaller, like noticeably smaller, but it was a hotel room. This was a hotel room, you know? The only good thing, or the only similar thing was that it sort of functioned like a bed and breakfast, where they had breakfast every morning and you could they asked you to like place your order the night before. So you would fill out like a little form, and then the next morning you would go in the room. It was like right across from our room, actually, like a little dining room, and they have like each room name set up, and you just sit and they have whatever you asked for the night before, like ready to go. So it was basically a hotel that functioned like a bed and breakfast. There was like, in another little nook across the hall, or across the stairway, there was like a Keurig station, like spotless. Again, so clean. The whole place was like so clean. Part of the review checking that we did, right? It was just like, and also not like astronomically expensive. Not cheap, but nowhere's cheap anymore. It was just amazing. So I loved Mystic. Shops, a river, boats. I love boats. I really do. Love boats. Don't have a boat. Can't afford a boat. Would love to have a boat. Would love to be able to afford a boat. My great uncle had a sailboat, and so it's a little bit of like a sentimental thing. And my friend's family has a boat. My cousins have a boat, and I just love it. I love boats. I love the ocean, but this was more like river and bay type stuff, but same, like amazing seafood. Oh my God, I think I ate every oyster in town. It was so good. So we got there Monday night. We had dinner at the Daniel Packer Inn. We had dinner and drinks. It was lovely. We just walked around, bummed around. Again, like a 4-hour drive there from Vermont. So like kind of tired, just played cards, watched TV, got like bedtime showers because it was sweaty and hot. It was great. And then the next day was, let's see, Tuesday was, we went to the Mystic Aquarium. That was very cool. We watched the sea lion show. I loved them. I love sea lions and seals. It was adorable. It was just lovely. And then we went to S&P Oyster for lunch, and we split fried oysters and drinks and walked around and shopped. And it turns out I don't even need this notebook. I have all this written down. Didn't need it. But actually now I am blanking about what we did that night, which is why I grabbed it. So my husband went and tried Mystic Pizza, which is apparently famous. I think there's a movie with Julia Roberts. Have not seen it, but he tried Mystic Pizza. He said it was okay. We also are spoiled though. We live, like PA, New York, Jersey, like we have good pizza. So, within reason, depending on like where you are. We have some bad too, but we also have good. So it's like you kind of like, I feel like our area knows a good pizza, knows a good cheesesteak, like that kind of thing. But anyway, so he got Mystic Pizza and I walked around. We split up. That's why I couldn't remember. And then we had cocktails at a place called the Engine Room. We took a nap after like 3 cocktails and oysters all before like 4 p.m. We needed a nap. We went to dinner at a place called the Shipwright's Daughter. It was amazing. Oh my God, that was delicious. We had ice cream and then we went to bed. I ate my weight in seafood ice cream and drank my weight in cocktails. It was so good. All of it was good. On Wednesday, that was my husband's birthday. So we went to the Seaport Museum, Mystic Seaport Museum. That was so cool. It was a functioning shipyard. You could walk onto some of the boats. It was just so cool. I stood up in the rafters and like watched the shipwrights work on the boats. It was freaking amazing. I love boats. Okay. Then we walked like half a mile to this little stand that had the most amazing lobster rolls, and I sucked down a lobster roll while like staring at the water and the boats. Ideal. Then we went for a 2-hour sail on a boat called the Argia or the Argia. I actually don't know. Amazing. If you're ever in Mystic, absolutely do it. It takes you out on the Sound and you can see Connecticut, Rhode Island, and New York, or I guess it's where we were. It was like ahead of us, New York, Rhode Island, and then where we came from, Connecticut, behind. So cool. The crew was lovely. They were like so professional, but had like very dry senses of humor. I helped pull the sail up. It was very cool because I'm a child. They were like, does anyone want to help? I was like, I do. So it was the coolest thing ever. They, you know, hoisted like all the sails up, and it was just, it also spotless. Speaking of clean, that boat was clean. It was just the coolest thing. Beautiful sail. Went back, had one more dinner at a place called, and that was sort of, I said to my husband, like, let's do the sail. Like, that can be your birthday gift or one of them, or what, like, you know, the trip was kind of our gift to each other. So I was like, let's do the 2-hour sail. Like, that's so cool. A couple locals earlier in the week mentioned to us, like, you should sail on the Argia. Like, that's really cool. So we did. I bought tickets. I was like, guess what? We're going. And then we went to a place called the Port of Call for dinner on his birthday. That may have been the winner as far as meals, but it's tight. I mean, like, S&P Oyster, Shipwright's Daughter, like, they were also both absolutely delicious. Port of Call may have been like, so if you're ever in Mystic, try all of them. Port of Call may have been like slightly on a different level. It was so good. The meals were all inspired by different countries, and it was like, what's the port of call? So the pasta dish was Italy, and like whatever port, I'm stupid, I don't know, but whatever port that would be, and like San Juan for a different, I had like, oh my God, I had squid ink empanadas, and then I tried the beef empanadas because that was another small plate you could order, and they were like highly recommended by the waitress as well. I don't even remember what my husband had. Oh, I think he had, it's escaping me. But the cocktails were phenomenal everywhere, but like the cocktails there also kind of a level above. So that may have been the winner, and it was our last dinner. winner, last dinner. And no chicken dinner. So it was winner, squid dinner. It was absolutely delicious. So again, all of the places I've mentioned were delicious. I would probably just secretly skip one if it wasn't, and just not even say anything, or just say it was fine, and then we went, you know. But no, everywhere was lovely. We really just checked reviews. Like, that was sort of our guiding light with all of this, and I'm glad we did, because we found some gems. So if you have any questions, like if you're gonna go to one of these places and you want to ask me a question, please do. It was amazing. So yes, highly recommend. And then yeah, I mean, the breakfasts were great at the second place. There was French toast one day that I ordered. There was like a quiche, yeah, I think it was a quiche one day that I ordered, and my husband got similar things really like the whole time through. And then the last day, let's see, that would have been Wednesday, was his birthday, and the museum, the Seaport Museum, and the Port of Call, and the Argia. So that was Thursday was when we left, and that morning I chose the breakfast option that was like a grapefruit and like black coffee. I was like, I'm so full. My shorts were so tight by the end of the week. It's slightly better now, but like I really ate every oyster in town, like, and every ice cream place too. Like, I was taking no prisoners. So it was just amazing. It was delicious. We finished our audiobook on the way home. It was great. And then we went to my parents' house, which was sort of on the way home, and got our dog, because they watched Duchess for us while we were gone. And then the next morning we drove home, and we started chores like immediately, but that's okay. It was hard to go back to work. This was one of those vacations that was really like, it was just different. It was unique. It was special. It wasn't just like the same old place. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love the same old places. Clearly I keep going. But it was just like different and special, and I loved it. Yeah, I think I've showed you everything. But yeah, it was, I got gifts for my friend who lives up the street, who checked on our house and like made sure nothing was flooding with all the storms, and did our mail and our trash. And like, I got gifts for her, I got gifts for my parents for watching our dog. But other than that, and I got a gift for my coworker who like kind of grew up near Mystic, and like, it's, oh, and I forgot to show you these earrings I bought in Mystic, and this ring I bought in Mystic. I don't know if you can see that, but it's sort of like a pastel multicolored gem sort of a thing ring. And then this is just a chain that you pull in and out, and it's the little like imitation Alhambra Van Cleef & Arpels shape, and then little pearls. I think it's, I mean, I have hair that kind of goes out, so sometimes I think something straight down can kind of flatter that. Depends. Whereas like sometimes straight hair I think is flattered by like a round earring. So I don't know. It depends. It depends on your face and your outfit. But yeah, it was just like absolutely lovely. Ow. I'm gonna take a shower. I really don't need this in. Okay. I think there's a knot. Nope, I just have a weird ear. Okay, you know what? It doesn't need to go in. That's okay. I'm gonna take a shower. These chain earrings are like ever so slightly tough when it comes to getting them in and out. If there's like a little, okay, that one's stuck. Okay, well, I think there might be a little knot in the end of that. That's okay. I'll make my husband get that out if I can. Okay, so anyway, it was an amazing trip. Got it. Okay. It's okay. They're worth it. They were not expensive. It was just an amazing trip. And then the final thing I'll show you has really nothing to do with the trip, but the friend that I mentioned who lives up the street, she's been my best friend from college, since college. She lives in our neighborhood, or maybe I live in hers. I don't know. She moved here, and then like a few years later, I coincidentally bought a house here. Like, I knew she was here, but that's not why. It was just kind of wild. It's like one of those like meant to be things. But she is my sister. I don't have siblings, so and she doesn't either. That's not true. She has half siblings, but we are sisters, and our dogs are cousins. And they play together. We're actually going on like a very small trip with her to her family's lake house in a week. Yeah, in about a week, which is lovely and a very nice way to not be so sad that this vacation is over. But anyway, she, my best friend / honorary sister, look at that. It says Duchess. This was my birthday gift. My husband and I have birthdays like 4 days apart. 4 days? 6 days. Can't do math. I always say 4. I think it's because our grandmas had the same birthday in the middle of our birthdays, and it was the 4th. So anyway, 6 days apart. But look at that. It says Duchess, and that is Duchess's little face. Look at that. It's so cute. I love it so much. I love it so much. Okay, so that was my birthday gift from her this year, and I have been wearing it ever since, along with these little pieces of gold jewelry from Mystic. So I've been keeping my vacation vibes and birthday vibes going. Okay, thank you for listening. This was 40 minutes of such a pointless chit chat, but thank you for listening. How are you doing? How's your summer? It's a pleasure to be back. It took a little while to feel like a pleasure, but now that everything is really settling back to normal, you know, I was off from work for more than a week, and so it was because July 4th kind of fell in there. When we got home, really quick, 2 things. When we got home, they had just released the movie Sinners on HBO Max, and we watched that, and I very much enjoyed that. I love horror movies. I love good horror movies. I know that's subjective, but I really, really enjoyed that one. That is maybe one of my favorites of all time. It's different, thank God, right? So if you haven't seen that, highly recommend. The audiobook that we listened to on the way to Vermont, from Vermont to Connecticut, from Connecticut, was a book called Baby Teeth. and I believe the author's name is Zoe Stage, but I'm not sure how her first name is actually said. I don't know if it's Zoe or Zoe. It is Zoje, I think, and last name Stage, I think, with like stage, like a stage you sing on, Stage. And that was I think it came out in like 2019 maybe, that book. Absolutely phenomenal. I know I'm late on the uptake. It's like 6 years later, but oh my goodness, excellent book. Kind of a psychological thriller, family drama. Excellent. And if you are an audiobook person, highly recommend the audiobook because the narrator is superb. I forget her name, but it was amazing. So, highly recommend if you're into that kind of thing. It's a little disturbing in different ways, but not too bothersome. Really just more interesting than anything else and suspenseful. So, highly recommend. Excellent, excellent book. And it really made the time go fast. If you have a trip coming up, highly recommend Baby Teeth. Okay, and I hope they make a movie. It seems like the kind of thing that would be a good movie. Okay. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a great summer. Tell me about your vacations, whether they've happened yet or not.